Stop, before you dislike or comment something on this video, why not watch it in its entirety and listen before jumping to a conclusion? Hey everyone, I'm Grumpy and welcome to my channel. I've been wanting to make this video for a while, and here we are. I want to start by saying I am not a Blink, nor do I hate Blackpink. I've noticed that Blackpink has been the target for a lot of hate in recent years, with some of the arguments being repeated again and again. Today I wanted to dive deeper and give my opinions on the reasons people continue to hate on the group. So with that out of the way, let's discuss. Blackpink! This is usually the most common reason people use to hate on Blackpink. I've seen both Blinks and antis arguing over whether or not the group is overhyped or rated. So, let's look at the definitions to debunk this, shall we? Overrated. Have a higher opinion of someone or something than is deserved. Overhyped. Make exaggerated claims about a product, idea, or event, publicize or promote excessively. I usually see people saying that you can't call Blackpink overrated as they have talent. Whilst true, people are well in their right to say they are overrated if they genuinely think that the group has higher opinions than they think they deserve. I think this also applies to overhyped as well. It's annoying to hear, but they are people's opinions, not factual statements, and shouldn't be taken as such. But why do people think that Blackpink are overrated or hyped? After searching through forums, comments and way too many K-pop based sites, I found a reason from different people that kept coming up. Big 3 privilege. A lot of people have said that they think a lot of Blackpink's success is because they debuted from a Big 3 company and relish in the privileges. In my opinion, I can't deny that there are some privileges from the companies when they debut. The companies tend to have more money and connections, which means higher quality music videos, guaranteed music show performances, brand deals and an audience before they even debut. However, I think that, though they have privileges, they also worked incredibly hard to attain them. I'm not saying any idols or trainees from other companies don't work as hard, just that to work in the Big 3, you have a lesser chance of debuting due to the amount of people auditioning for such a big company. Each girl beat out hundreds, maybe thousands of other people to debut in Blackpink. Jennie trained for 6 years, Jisoo 5 years, Lisa for 5 years, and Rose for 4 years. They've all worked hard and have the talent, otherwise they wouldn't have been chosen. I think the reason people throw the Big 3 privilege at Blackpink so quickly is because they fit the image a lot of people have for privilege. From their debut they instantly blew up, which of course isn't a bad thing, it's pretty incredible. But when you compare it to other Big 3 girl groups like Twice or Red Velvet, who didn't initially blow up, even taking to the streets to promote and perform, Blackpink in comparison and from face value, seem to have had it much easier. I don't believe they've had it easy, they definitely benefited from the YG name, but they worked hard to deserve the audience from debut. Success wasn't handed to them from the beginning, they beat out other talented girls who auditioned and went through years of training like many other idols. I personally do feel like Blackpink can be overrated or hyped at times, not because the girls themselves, but from how their fan base can hype them up. But that can be said about any fandom, fans tend to always hype up their faves because they love them, and that's how they show their support. At the end of the day, if someone says Blackpink is overrated or overhyped, it's probably because to them, in their viewpoint, they are. It's an opinion. Let's just dive right into this one. Anyone who has come across Blackpink has most likely seen the comments comparing them to previous YG girl group, 21. From the number of members, same producer and being under the same label, it's not hard to see why people would use this as a reason to hate on one of the groups. I wanted to look at the reason why people even started to compare the two groups in the first place, and from what I found it really isn't shocking where it started. On August 8, 2016 Blackpink debuted, and an article from Korea Times was published. I think a lot of people have seen others stating a line from YG himself, that Blackpink is the prettier version of 21. This is actually from the article itself titled, Blackpink is just another pretty version of 21. If you ask me to distinguish Blackpink from 21, I want to say I did not try to make them different, Yang said. If you ask me what differentiates them from other girl groups, I will say I did not form them with that in mind. I tried to make the YG version of a girl group like I did with 21. But this time I wanted the girls to look pretty too, with skills. He admitted that Blackpink songs were written by Teddy, the main producer for 21, who wrote hit songs for them, including I'm the Best, Ugly and Can't Nobody. But it has a different feeling when different persons wear the same clothes, he said. Two teams have different voices and different faces. After reading through the article, I wasn't surprised with people making the comparisons, since BLACKPINK was made originally to be the same as 21, just prettier. I honestly can't believe this was what their own label used on their debut, but looking at their managing skills with 21, no one should really be surprised that BLACKPINK isn't managed good as well. And it isn't surprising that people continue to make the comparisons, especially when they originated from the company themselves. I don't think the comparisons are ever going to stop throughout BLACKPINK's career, which is a shame as both groups are successful and talented in their own way. They never should have been compared to begin with, but YG themselves based BLACKPINK's existence on being the next 21. It's not fair to any of the girls involved. BLACKPINK should have been debuted as BLACKPINK, they never should have been compared to their senior group in the way they were. Not only was it disrespectful to 21 after all the hard work they did for the company, but it's disrespectful to BLACKPINK as well. They are four girls who worked for years to debut, only to have their company say they were made to be a prettier version of another group. It diminishes achievements from both groups. If you find that you personally don't like one of the groups, please support the group you love and don't tear down the other. It feels like the company does a good job of tearing down their girl groups themselves. I think it's an understatement to say that Jennie has been BLACKPINK's punching bag for online trolls and antis for quite a while now. Since debut, Jennie had already accumulated hate, being dubbed as YG's princess. From the expensive clothes in the spotlight, to the most lines and getting better treatment from the company, antis and trolls have a lot of opinionated ammunition to fire at her. I'll be honest and say that when I first learned about BLACKPINK, I thought Jennie was the leader and did agree on some points about her being YG's princess. But as time has gone on and more scandals have come out, I have found myself disagreeing with this and changing the way I have looked at the situations. For instance, many people believe she is the company's favorite, however as more and more negative attention and scandals happened, YG was nowhere to be seen in defense of their own idol. It seems like they are fine with Jennie taking blow after blow from the public and doing little to nothing to help relieve the situations and gossip surrounding her. How can she be YG's princess or get special treatment from the company when they are happy to allow the public to bully and drag her name through the mud? Any company who has a favorite idol would bend over backwards to hold that person's reputation for the idol's and company's sake. Now let's talk about the big elephant in the room that garnered the hate train for Jennie. The lazy scandal. Back in November 2018, a video was uploaded showing Jennie's performances declining from 2016 up till that point. It went viral quickly with the majority of people, whether they were fans, antis or didn't even know BLACKPINK, calling her out for her lack of energy, seeming like she didn't even want to be there. There was of course people using this as an excuse to hate on her. But the amount of backlash Jennie received was overwhelming, especially for one person. Whether or not you think she was being lazy, was unwell or any other reason, the hate she got was not deserved. It should have been a situation in which she could learn from, by getting valid and fair criticism, but instead it turned into the internet bullying, belittling and even threatening someone, when they didn't know if something was happening behind the scenes. As of 2019 she has gotten a lot better on stage performance-wise. I personally think she doesn't have the same energy as she did in their debut, where she was complimented for her stage presence, but in their recent comeback she has been good. None of us know what is going on personally with her, and if it's something that affected her performing, but unless she openly discusses it, it isn't our business to try and guess or diagnose her. She is a person who went through a ridiculous amount of hate. It didn't get any better when YG, instead of defending their idol, decided to block videos made about the lazy scandal, drawing more negative attention to the situation, and giving more ammunition to the trolls about Jennie being YG's princess. It became worse with the release of Jennie solo. The timing of the release was undoubtedly not the best and should have been more thought out, but once again it proves that the company did not care for the backlash Jennie was receiving, and would receive when she debuted solo. The lack of good managerial decisions is not surprising here. I honestly wasn't surprised that Jennie solo was first, considering she trained the longest under YG. They understand her strengths and weaknesses, and is the most popular member in Korea. It makes sense to have her debut first. However, the way the company has gone about the solo debut so far has been awful. Having her debut in 2018 and now nearing 2020 not having any other member debut, it is just another thing that allows people to blame and drag Jennie. It seems every decision the company makes isn't for the good of their idols or even YG's princess as the trolls would say. They don't favor Jennie and BLACKPINK. I don't think they even favor any one of them in the group. They just see them as money makers, especially since their company is currently on the rocks, but even then they still haven't got the brains to use BLACKPINK as good money makers by giving them comebacks and an album. Which leads into the next point. Just like everyone else, I don't know what is going on at YG with their management. I have been researching whilst making this video as I like to try and be as in-depth as I can. And the only excuse for the lack of comebacks and songs I found was the building up hype idea. In other words, leave the fans starved for music, that way when a comeback is released once a year, they will eat it up no matter the quality of it. Let's all be completely honest here, if BLACKPINK released a song that was just them burping into the mic, fans would eat that shit up as they are so starved for anything, so it does work in some way. But let's look at the negative effects this has on BLACKPINK. The girls trained and worked hard to debut under YG Entertainment to be idols and perform, but I don't think what they got is what they wanted or was promised at the beginning. I think all the girls want to release songs, be a part of the writing process and perform. It's why they decided to even audition in the first place. After releasing their once-a-year comeback, they seem to just go back into hibernation and mostly see them advertising products or modeling, maybe even a TV show appearance every once in a while. You could argue that having one comeback a year is a good thing, considering Western artists usually have comebacks once a year, or they even have breaks that last a couple of years. But the difference here is, when they release their albums, there's more than 3 songs on it, and don't fill up the quota with a remix. Have you seen a successful Western artist in the peak of their career just release 1 to 3 songs, and then hibernate until the next year? No. They tend to release full-length albums with multiple singles and music videos, one after the other, or maybe even release a collaboration at some point in the year to keep pumping out hits and keep themselves relevant and successful. The whole releasing one hit single and 2 other songs comeback is starting to turn a lot of fans off, some people just dropping BLACKPINK as a whole. The lack of promotion surrounding their annual comeback as well is not great. Take for example when Jennie solo was dropped, they had 3 teasers, the music video, a behind the scenes, a choreography video, and a 10-part solo diary series. Where the hell is this kind of promotion for them as a group? If you're giving them one comeback a year, you should be making more of an effort to give the fans content. You know that they will eat up anything you release as they love the girls, so as a business shouldn't you be taking advantage of this whilst it lasts? I understand that it must be hard to release a full album when you only have one producer to work on it, so maybe you should have more for one of the biggest girl groups right now. Teddy is a fantastic producer and has given the girls and many other YG idols banger songs, but the idea that he and only he can produce these types of songs seems ridiculous. There are so many producers around the world who could work alongside him, share ideas and keep that YG sound, but with something fresh that could benefit BLACKPINK as a whole. They are at the peak of their careers at the moment, they should really be putting out much more than they are. They need more songs and a fresher sound, as many people are starting to complain about how predictable and repetitive the songs are. I would never say to get rid of Teddy, he is talented and clearly knows what he is doing. But he is one person, and he cannot be expected to produce a whole album by himself yearly, if YG are giving him so much to do already for all the YG groups, and it's not fair on him or the idols who have to wait to do what they love, because you're putting too much work on one person. Honestly though, at this point the girls are much more active on their Instagrams than they are as singers or an idol girl group. I've seen people drag BLACKPINK for their stage presence quite a lot. They had such a strong start with their debut stages, they were fierce and delivered amazing performances consecutively. So what's happened? From 2018 onwards BLACKPINK stages became lacking, and to a lot of people, boring. I made this video to dive into the reasons people use to hate BLACKPINK, and also put in my opinions. I want to be completely honest and frank with them, but not hateful. And my honest opinion on BLACKPINK stage presence is that they have become boring to watch. Now, I understand since the Kill This Love comeback, they have definitely improved from the last year, but they no longer have that fierceness that came with their debut. They started off with powerful and explosive stages, but it feels like after the smoke has cleared they've become underwhelming in comparison of themselves. If you start off strong as a group, you're expected to bring that strength with you throughout your career, and even improve on it. But with BLACKPINK, it feels like they started off so strong and with such a big bang, that when they started to lose the spark, they lost it hard. People argue that their lack of stage presence is due to their lack of comebacks, and blame YG. So far everything I've talked about can pretty much be linked back to the company, and I can see the reason in this argument. But to me the reasoning for their stage presence lacking can be pointed to both YG and the girls themselves. Whether or not you agree with me on this, when BLACKPINK is on stage performing, it is up to them to do the best performance that they are able to do. This is their job, this is what they auditioned for, and you can't blame their performances on stage completely on the company. They have responsibility to share the criticism that come their way on how they are performing. I am, however, completely understanding of artists and idols having bad or off days, and having things going on behind the scenes that can affect how they perform. So I usually try not to criticize too harshly because they are human, and many things can affect how we behave and how we function. I'm trying to see both sides here, because I want the girls to have that attitude and fierceness they once had, but I don't want it to be at the cost of their health or well-being. Now I want to quickly discuss a couple of things that people argue makes them lack stage presence. Firstly is their facial expressions. I actually can see the reasoning behind this one. The second you step on the stage, you are in front of a crowd, you are performing. So when an artist or idol has the facial expression that looks like they want to be anywhere else but on that stage, it can throw a performance off. I'm not saying they have to smile all the time, but I have noticed sometimes the girls can have expressionless faces until it gets to their part. Watching someone with a blank face, dancing and singing to a song is, well, it's kind of off-putting to a performance. Look at their debut stages, or music show performances, facial expressions are a big part of performing. There are so many videos and articles on the subject of how facial expressions can make or break a performance. If you're unsure about this or want to know more, then have a read for yourselves. The next reason people give for the decline in their stage presence will actually lead into the next point. This is definitely something that a lot of people use as a reason to hate on BLACKPINK. I won't spend too long on this section as it's been talked to death. Their choreography can be questionable at times. Again, at their debut I absolutely loved their choreos, each member shined in their part, and it looked good. But after As If It's Your Last, people noticed their routines becoming lackluster. It gets argued whether or not their choreos are repetitive or if it's done on purpose to be branded as BLACKPINK signature moves. Either way, their last two comebacks left a lot of fans disappointed with the choreography. Do's routine was, in my opinion, one of their worst choreos. Aside from the iconic finger guns, the rest of the choreography was very underwhelming. I honestly think they would benefit from getting a new choreographer, someone who understands the style that BLACKPINK has, but with something fresh. They apparently had 4 world-class choreographers working on the Kill This Love comeback, which for having 4 world-class professionals working on it, and YG praising how good the choreography would be for it, was even more disappointing. I don't want to keep going back to the beginning of their career, but the choreography that they had for Bombaya, Playing with Fire, and As If It's Your Last were so good and the type of choreography they need back. It had the BLACKPINK signature touch, but it wasn't too repetitive, nor did it feel underwhelming. I don't know what's happening at YG with their staff, but the girls need people working for them that can actually benefit them in their stages. There's a lot of things I haven't covered to do with their choreography, but this video is already too long, so if anyone's interested I will probably make a separate video discussing that. Now let's move on to the final point. Around 90% of the reasons people use to hate BLACKPINK can be linked straight back to their company, YG. This group is currently one of the biggest girl groups right now. It seems like everyone knows that, except for their own company, who is too busy burying their heads in the sand to do anything useful. It's not anything new to know that YG Entertainment is currently going through a rather rough period, which of course is affecting their idols. Not too long ago a story came out about how BLACKPINK struggled to fill seats in a private fan meeting, purely because of the current boycott people have against YG Entertainment. Also just this week the hashtag BlackPinkLeaveYG trended. It seems like fans have finally had enough. YG love to use BLACKPINK as a deflectors for any scandal or accusation that gets thrown their way, and cash in on them. It seems like a lot of people are wanting the group to leave YG and sign on with JYP for better management, more comebacks, and for better treatment. But honestly, this would never happen, nor do I think that the fans are thinking it through. BLACKPINK signed a contract when they joined YG, meaning that they can't just up and leave when they want. Not to mention that YG owns BLACKPINK's name and the rights to all of their discography and music videos. If BLACKPINK left YG, they would have to do it whilst leaving behind everything and starting again, taking Teddy along with them as well, which, as much as fans would love to think would work, in reality it wouldn't. But if in a dream world BLACKPINK could leave YG with the rights to their name and songs, I don't think they would even sue JYP. The whole style and concept of BLACKPINK is made with the YG signature swag, which JYP just doesn't have. I would absolutely love them to leave and sign with P Nation. I think it'd be perfect to work with someone who is one of the biggest names in K-pop, just like they are, worked under YG, and had that YG sound and style, just like they do, but seems promising in terms of management, comebacks and treating the idols more human. Something which YG can't relate to. I want to stay here and type out 4 more paragraphs about how YG mistreats the girls, but honestly it has all been said to death in many videos, and this one is getting way too long. There are also other arguments people use to hate on BLACKPINK that I haven't gotten around to discussing yet, so I'll either make a part 2 or make them as individual videos, it's up to you guys. I've had this video idea saved in my notes since July, but never got around to making it. It took around 2 months to complete as I wanted to try and make my opinions on these arguments as informed and constructive as I could. If you disagree with anything I've said, then please leave a comment with your own opinion. However, if you're just going to be hateful or close-minded, then take your opinions and make your own video instead of bullying other people. Thank you for taking the time to watch this. I want to be a lot more active on here, but I am a slow editor due to being a perfectionist. This will probably be more of a quality over quantity channel. So, subscribe if you're interested in some more videos like this, and I hope you have a lovely day.